the Nintendo Switch. So many good games on this system. Let me show you guys which ones I have on here, and then you guys should check out.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so here we are with the Switch. Today we're here to show you guys everything that is on the Switch and everything that I'm playing and everything that's on it. So let's take a look at the Nintendo Switch and what games are on here. So let's start by clicking on all software here. So we start off with Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 1. This just came out last week. I think you guys know what that is. This game on the Wii U. I haven't actually started these two yet to tell you guys how good they run, but I've heard they're really good, and I've never played them on the Wii U, so I'm excited to dive into these two and check them out, because I've heard that they're like the best action RPG games you could basically buy. So I'm looking forward to trying those. We have ARMS here. I know this game gets a lot of flack. I'm actually having a lot of fun with ARMS. It's like Nintendo obviously made exclusive for the Switch, and it's like a 3D fighter. It's really unique, something that I've never played anything like, and it's just a lot of fun. You guys should check that out. Rocket League I don't think needs any introduction. I think you guys know all about my Rocket League. If you watch any of my previous videos on how much I like this game, and I'm still playing it, 2+ years after it came out, and I have it on every system now. The fact that I have it portably now is even better. And, I'm excited to be able to now play this basically anywhere I go. Disc Jam is a game kind of like in the vein of like Windjammers and kind of like air hockey. Sorry, I was thinking of the word. It's kind of like air hockey and stuff like that. You take a frisbee and you have to throw it back and forth to each other and try to get it past them to score in the goal. Night in the Woods I heard is a really good game. I haven't actually started it yet to tell you, but I know that it's really heavily geared towards story, so I'm excited. I wanted to put that when I actually had some time to listen and pay attention and play the story and stuff like that. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the Nintendo Switch. As somebody who's never actually watched a Dragon Ball Z episode before, which I'm now going to based on this game, because I want to see what everyone's been hyping about for years that I've never watched an episode of it. This game is a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with the combat. There's a lot of different options online and stuff like that, so I'm really looking forward to playing more of that. Celeste is also from the makers of Towerfall. If you guys remember that game, this game is a hardcore like 3D platformer. It's a really, really solid game. The story is good, the platform is good, and it even has like a cheat mode if you're just stuck on a level to like slow it down and see exactly what you're missing and how to get past it and stuff like that. So that's always good. Flip Wars is just like a 4-player local multiplayer game where you have to get the most squares into your color and stuff like that by stomping them. I'm a really big fan of local multiplayer games, as you guys will see as this list goes down. Thumper is also like a music-driven game. Thumper has been around for a while on a lot of different platforms, including PSVR, which is where I first played it, and this is just a really solid game. Mario Kart 8, I don't think needs any introduction. We all know what Mario Kart 8 is. Super Beat Sports is from the makers of Harmonix. A lot of fun with that game as well. Basically, it has like a variety of sports. I think 5, like baseball and golf and stuff like that. And you try to keep it beat. It's a 4-player game locally as well, so that's a lot of fun. Splatoon 2, awesome game. I played a lot of Splatoon 1 when it came out on the Wii U, and now I'm just playing even more on the Nintendo Switch because it's portable. And they just keep adding more and more stuff to it, more maps and more modes. So they're doing a really good job with this, and that was a really fun game. Just Dance 2018. Everyone here at this house has a lot of fun when people come over to play the Just Dance games, and I wanted to try it since I know the Kinect was on its way out for the Xbox to see how it ran on the Nintendo Switch and how the Joy-Cons worked and everything, and it actually runs surprisingly well, so glad I picked that up on here. Puyo Puyo Tetris is a mixture of obviously Puyo Puyo and Tetris. It has a lot of different game modes and stuff like that, and a lot of different modes online and locally, so if you're a fan of Tetris and Puyo Puyo or either, check that out. FIFA 18 gets a lot of flack for some reason. I guess people were expecting more out of it, which I can understand. Like the big mode it has on here is Ultimate Team, but it doesn't have like career mode from FIFA 18 that came out on the other consoles and stuff like that. But it's still the best portable FIFA you can play, bar none. If you want a portable FIFA game, there's not going to be anything better than this, and that's why I bought it, because I like FIFA, and it's the only portable version that's the best one out there. So, Super Bomberman R is another game that a lot of people seem to give a lot of flack out because the pricing on it. I got it on a discount, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you like Bomberman, I still think you guys should check this out. It's not as good as like the best Bombermans out there from like the N64 and the Saturn, but it's still a really good Bomberman game, and they've added a lot of updates to make it even better. Fury is a really interesting game. It's like a bullet hell shooter kind of game, but also tied into like 3D, like close combat kind of game. It's really interesting to describe. And you play 10 bosses, and they each have their own way of you have to fight them and try to get through them. And each boss can take you a really long time because you have to learn how they, how they're doing things to you and learn how to combat them and stuff like that. It's a really, really good game. Retro City Rampage, I never played this game until I got on the Switch, and I've always heard a lot of good things. It's basically just, if you think about GTA on a 16-bit scale, it's an open world, kind of like where you could do whatever you want and has a lot of missions and stuff like that. It's a really, really fun game. Oh, Sir, the Hollywood Roast, and this one is the Insult Simulator. Is basically like you going head-to-head with either the computer or 1v1 against one of your friends that's with you. Select from a bunch of different like words that they're giving you and a bunch of different sentences, and you try to roast your friends as best as possible, and it gives you points, and whoever has the most at the end wins. Double Dragon, the original classic. Nine Parchments is a really fun 4-player co-op game that you could play. It's based on like magic and stuff like that, and everyone has abilities, and you're trying to get through levels and get as far as you can. So that's fun. Golf Story. It's a 16-bit game. It's a really actually it's a pretty decent game itself, and it's also the story mode and everything is just really good. Having a lot of fun with it, and it even has a 4-player mode, so you can play just the golf portion of it on the courses and stuff with your friends locally. So Sonic Mania. Everyone said how good this Sonic game was, so I don't think you guys need me to tell you that. This is just a demo of Dragon Quest Builders. Nothing much else to say there on Dragon Quest Builders because it's just a demo. Portal Knights, I haven't put a lot of time into to tell you guys much about it. I know that I bought it based on the fact that everyone said it was like a better version of like either Dragon Quest Builders or like Minecraft and stuff, but I haven't played enough to tell you how true that is or not. Pokemon Tournament DX, really good game. If you think about like a mixture of like Street Fighter and a 3D fighting game like Tekken with Pokemon characters, it's kind of like that. Obviously, it has its own ideas and stuff, but just to give you guys an idea on what it's like, a lot of good Pokemon characters up to like 18 or 20 now. Blastoise is releasing in March as part of DLC, so looking forward to getting him and trying him out. Super Mario Odyssey, no introduction needed. I did beat the main story of this game, and game of the year, so that's all that needs to be said about that. We have here Party Golf. Party Golf is also a really fun game. It's for up to 8 players, and you're basically playing golf against locally with your friends. Cars 3, a game that I got before Mario Kart actually released, I believe. And this is also, it's like a Mario Kart clone kind of thing with like the Cars license. It's still a pretty fun game if you can find it for cheap. Super Meat Boy. Never actually played Super Meat Boy when it came out, interestingly enough. So I got it on the Switch, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a hardcore, like, 3D platformer as well, but really hard. The Escapist 2, I never played The Escapist 1. I've been hearing a lot of things about it, so I decided to give The Escapist 2 a shot. Basically, you're trying to escape a prison. There's multiple ways to escape one prison by either digging holes, going through tunnels, breaking out when the guards go to sleep, all that kind of stuff. And it has 2-player local, so who can escape the fastest out of the prison, or 4-player online, so that's a lot of fun. Crawl is a really, really good 4-player local multiplayer game. Basically, the gist is that let's say you start in the middle, and you're trying to kill all the monsters in the room and go room through room and try to level up to 10 to get to the big monster, and then you win if you beat that big monster once you get to level 10. The catch is that the 3 other players are the ghosts who are actually throwing those monsters at you, and you have to go and compete against them. And if your monster hits the final blow on the character that's in the middle trying to level up, then you take his place, and now you're trying to go through the dungeon and trying to kill all the monsters and stuff and get to level 10 as fast as possible. Inverse Deluxe is another good 4-player game locally, or I think actually it goes up to 8. This game was free, so I never actually booted this up, so I actually don't know what this is. Battleshift Brigade, I know a lot of you guys have heard about that in the past. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a mixture of like a side-scroller beat-em-up to puzzle like Bejeweled kind of game, based on actually being a chef and like making cooking recipes and stuff. So really good story so far and a lot of fun gameplay there, mixing those 2 genres together. Worms, for some reason I never actually got into Worms before this, and I'm having actually a lot of fun with Worms and seeing why people like it so much after I'm learning how to play it and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you can do in the game. This has actually been a lot of fun. Stick Bowl is another local multiplayer game. It's a lot of fun. It's a dodgeball game, and you're trying to hit your friends with a dodgeball and be the last man standing. A lot of different maps and modes and stuff. So this game is fun. Floor Kids came out of nowhere. It's a really interesting game. It's basically you can play 1v1 versus your friend or versus the computer, and it's kind of like DDR, kind of like music style game. And the music's actually really good in the game. and you have to like do different combos and breakdance and stuff better than your opponent does. Ultra Hyperball is like a keep 'em up game, another local multiplayer game, 1v1, or you could do up to 4. Try to keep the ball, hit it the highest, or hit it the longest, or not drop it, stuff like that. Snipper Clips, we all know what Snipper Clips is, I believe. It's one of the Nintendo exclusives. It's a really fun game as long as you like puzzle games. I'm not actually a big fan of puzzle games, but I still have fun playing this game. Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2. Really fun game. Basically, it's an open world style for the first time in the Lego franchise, where there's just a bunch of different things to do, and the whole world is available for you to explore shortly after you start the game. So I'm still going through that, so that's a lot of fun. Marvel and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is like if you took it's a strategy game, obviously, and it's a turn-based strategy game. That's the word I was looking for, and it's combining Mario and Rabbids. It actually does surprisingly well on how it combines those two and how much fun this game actually is. Blaster Master Zero, I haven't actually played too much. Minecraft, doesn't need any introduction with that. Graceful Explosion Machine, one of the first early games that came out on the Switch. Mr. Shifty, another one of the early games, and this game's actually really good if you guys can find that. It's a digital-only game, but it's a really, really fun game. It's like in the vein of like that Miami game. I can't think of the whole time. Hotline Miami. It's in the vein of that. Arcade Archives Mario Bros. Super Sidekicks. Infinite Mini Golf, which isn't a bad mini golf game if you guys are into that. Namco Museum, which is a pretty fun game. It has like I believe 20 or a little bit more, Namco games like Dig Dug and Pac-Man and stuff like that. Use Your Words, which is a game like Jackbox, the Jackbox series, but someone else obviously made it in a different company with their twist on it. It's actually really good. You use your phone, and all your friends connect with their phones, and you answer trivia questions and stuff like that. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. I got this for really cheap. Never actually beat the game on any of the other platforms, so this game is really good on the Switch, and I've beaten it now, and it's definitely one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played. Just like everyone's always said about the game, it's really, really good. Pinball FX3 is just a free game, and then you buy the tables and stuff. I haven't bought any of the tables. Lovers in the Dangerous Space Time, I heard, is a really good game, co-op game about flying a spaceship and stuff, but it's best with 4 players, I've heard, or at least 3, so I'm waiting to give that a shot with more players when I'm around. Then Enter the Gungeon is a bullet hell roguelike kind of game where you go through and upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. NBA 2K18, it's basketball. They did a decent job porting it over. All the modes are here, which is a plus, unlike FIFA and stuff. It runs pretty decently. It runs at 30 frames a second, not 60 like the consoles, but I don't think anyone could expect it to on this console, but it still runs pretty well, and it looks pretty decent as well. Brawlout, if you like Super Smash Brothers, and this is the best you've got on the Switch right now. It's nowhere near as good, but it's decent. King of Monsters. Overcooked, another one of those 4-player games that you guys definitely need to play. It's a really, really fun game. I think you guys already know about it. It's been around for a while. NBA Playground's a game that got a lot of flack. It's basically them trying to mimic NBA Jam. It's not as good as NBA Jam is, or was, but it's still, a pretty solid attempt at it, and it's a really fun game that you guys should have. It's they did a lot of ridiculous things with the patches coming so late to the Switch and stuff, but they are here now, and it's still fun. Doom, they did a really good job of porting this over. Obviously, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the console version, so it looks kind of muggy on the Switch, but the fact that you can play Doom on a portable on the go is crazy. And it does a really decent job, and playing multiplayer on the story mode on the go is crazy. Not sure what that is, to be honest. Riptide GP. This is like the phone game, if you guys remember. It's like Wave Race. They came out with this game for the phone. This is a cheap game, like $5-10, and it's a really solid game if you're into like the Wave Race type racing with boats and stuff. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I finished that. I don't think that needs any introduction. Game of the Year candidate right there. Versus Super Mario Bros. 1-2 Switch, another game that people seem to not like very much because of the high price tag, but I've had a lot of fun with people coming over here and playing that game. Jackbox series, I got 1, 2, and 3 here. 2, 3, and 4, I should say. A really solid party game for up to 8 players that you guys should all check out if you've never heard of it, using your phones and stuff to play a game. Hulu. Street Fighter 2. Solid Street Fighter 2, but there's a collection coming out here shortly, so I'd probably hold off and wait for that. Fast RMX, another racer. The Binding of Isaac. Really solid game. I never played it until I got on the Switch, another roguelike kind of game. Lego City Undercover wasn't really good when it came out because I had a lot of problems, but then the patches fixed most of them, so it's not that bad now, but at this point you probably should just get Marvel Superheroes too. And Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Never played Shovel Knight until I got it on here as well, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. 16-bit side-scroller kind of game, like in the vein of like Metrovania kind of style game, so that's a lot of fun. And that is everything that's on my Switch, guys. Everything on here that's on my Switch that I've had a lot of fun playing. I think that is everything that I wanted to show you guys. The Switch is just a great console overall. I'm having a lot of fun with this system. There's always new games coming out. Payday 2 is coming out shortly. The new Kirby game in March. You know, Mario Tennis in May. And I'm sure things that haven't been announced are putting out their internet stuff in September. Hopefully they do good things with that because everyone's still skeptical about that for good reason. Hopefully we finally get to back up our saves to the cloud at some point. That'd be nice. So a lot of good things that are possible on this system and a lot of good games that are coming. I think Nintendo did a great job with the actual system and they're putting some good games on there. And it's only been a year or a little less than a year. So, and you can see how many games I have on here already. So hopefully they do good stuff with the internet stuff. We get some voice chat on some of these games that need it. And that will take the system even further. But as of right now, guys, loving the Switch. If you guys don't have a Switch, you guys should really check it out. If you have a Switch, check out all these games I mentioned. These are all the ones that I've liked. Every single game on here, minus like the one or two that I told you guys I don't even remember what they were because I got them for free. Everything else that I mentioned is a solid recommendation for me if I told you guys that. So, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.
Gaming Techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.